You got a must-roster guy tonight, Garion, pitcher or hitter?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Byron Buxton. I think he's going to be relatively popular tonight. I don't really care. He's in the lineup, I'm pretty sure. He got the night off last night. The Twins are being understandably cautious with Buxton. I feel like he's going to get probably at least one night off a week. But going up against Spencer Watkins, who has just struggled immensely with right-handed batters so far in his career, a 422 WOBA within the split. He's allowed the 179 righties he's faced in his career to compile a 342 batting average. And he's also just a low strikeout pitcher, just a 10.5% strikeout rate. You do not want Byron Buxton getting batted ball events. He has barreled up 25% of his batted ball events so far this season. That's why he leads baseball in isolated power and slugging percentage. So I think this is the perfect matchup for Buxton. Like I said, he'll be popular, but I think he's a really good starting point for your lineups.
All right, Bukes, we're talking just the night slate here, 6 games. Who's your must-roster guy?
Manny Machado has been on one as of late. Double-digit fantasy points in 7 of his last 8 games. Like, he has been absolutely crushing the ball, kind of carrying the freight without Fernando Tatis Jr. in that lineup. Tonight, he goes up against Jesus Luzardo, who is pitching more like the prospect the Oakland Athletics thought they had, but then they traded away. He's been pitching much better, but Machado against lefties has always been the sweet spot for him. You look at some of his numbers so far this season against lefties, not a ton of plate appearance against him so far, only 28, but in that span, 562 WOBA, 375 isolated power, and a 274 WRC plus. Those are some pretty damn good numbers. So on a slate that isn't overly big tonight, I think Manny Machado at third base is definitely one of the plays to make.
You know, his teammate Erik Hosmer is ridiculously hot right now, Steve.
Yeah, he's actually not hitting ground balls. It's amazing.
Eric.
Guy gets married, and now he can hit fly balls. It's incredible.
I know.
Not a coincidence.
And he's expecting a kid, you know, in the next few months as well. It's like that early dad strength. Eric, is there someone who's not going to hit ground balls that you like tonight?
Wow.
Yeah, I like the guys those two mentioned at the very top tier. If you go down a little bit at the 4,500 range, I like Austin Meadows. He doesn't have a homer yet this season, but he's doing everything else, hitting 299, 393, 390. Good for a 139 WRC plus. And he's seeing the ball very well. An 11.2% walk rate against just a 13.5% strikeout rate. He hasn't had huge strikeout problems in most of his seasons, but he hasn't been a guy who makes this kind of contact either. And I think that power should come eventually. We're talking about a guy who had 33 and 27 homers in his last 2 full seasons. One of the reasons I like him here especially is he's facing Jose Urquidy, who is not a guy that I'm a particularly big fan of. He has plenty of fans. Coming into the year, he had a 3.55 ERA. That was beating some of the ERA estimators by about a full run. Doesn't really get strikeouts, especially this year, down to a 15.1% strikeout rate. And yeah, he doesn't walk people, but he gives up so much contact, and that contact is in the air with a ground ball rate under 30%. I think Meadows hits his first homer of the season tonight.